Hey everybody, how you doing? Having crazy issues, I guess. I don't know why it skipped through that so quick, but it did. Eh, it is what it is. Well, this is the conservative corner, and Seth Eisenberg, the host. So if this is where you're supposed to be. Hey, how you doing? If you're in the wrong place, hey, how you doing? Hang out for a while, you might like it. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you're new, thanks for joining us. Like I said, hang out. You might like it. You might not. I am definitely not everybody's shot of whiskey. That is faux show. If you have anything you want to say, you can put it into the the post question or something in the text thing, the chat room. That's it. And if I can get to it, I will. If I can, it's not personal. Don't think, oh, he's being a dick. No, I just probably got tied up and wrapped up in something else. So don't take it personal. But I hope you all had a good week, as good as being at work can be. I got jury duty next week. I'm tickled pink about that. Hopefully, it won't be every day. I mean, I know it's my civic duty and all that, but still, it's a pain in the butt. So, yeah, hopefully that'll go by quick and I can get back to the real world. But I hope you enjoyed your weekend. I mean, it just got done pouring here, like really bad. So I'm glad that's over. It just one thing after another, isn't it, people? One day it's 128 degrees, the next day it's a monsoon. Apparently, this week is supposed to be in the 70s. I don't know. I can't keep up with it. It's not the weather, it's malaria. So one day you need a coat, next day you need to walk out naked because it's too hot to have anything on. Take it for what you will. So we're going to start the show off again with, like it says at the bottom, breaking and important news. Not all this is breaking. I know this is Sunday and you've all probably seen or heard most of this. And it may not be important. Maybe I should change it to like interesting news or crap that's happened that caught my eye during the week. I don't know. If you have any suggestions, post it. Maybe I'll change it to that. The first one is I've titled, If It Ain't Broke, Don't Fix It. I don't know if any of you have seen this, but apparently the Patriots and a couple other teams have made male cheerleaders their cheer captain or whatever they're called, cheerleading captains. And I understand there's teams that have men on them and all that, but these seem to be rather flamboyant men. I could be wrong. Maybe they're just very effeminate men. I don't know, but they appear to be feminine, and I'm not sure why the NFL's like why they're doing this. Are they trying to go bankrupt? Are they trying to push away the blue collar, hard working dudes that watch football on Sundays? Because that's what they're going to do. I understand that cheerleaders aren't a major part of the game. You really don't see them unless it's the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and they might show them doing commercials and maybe like halftime at the Super Bowl. But in general, you really don't see them. So I don't understand why the big push now. If they're not that important, why are you making them important? Why are you making such a big deal? I'm drinking coffee. Why are you making it such a big deal by doing this? I don't understand it. Then again, it's the NFL. NFL sucks or what not. They're a charitable organization, so they don't pay tax and all. It's a joke. So this is just reason 25,327 is why I don't watch the NFL, because it is bullshit. It's not about helping or lifting up people. It's about shoving, agendas in your face and going, you have to like this now. You have no choice. You have to like it. But it's Parker West and Driss Daly and Steven Sontag are cheerleading captains now, making it the first time in franchise history that men have served as captains. Yeah, that's great. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Who cares? Moving right along to more important shit. This made me laugh. Like every time I see it, I laugh. Jordanian tennis player refuses to play against Israeli player. Oh no. I guess we got to end the whole tournament now because this jackass doesn't want to play. Now, the only reason, I mean, I know what he's going to say publicly. I don't want to play because, Israel's genocidal. They're killing everybody. They're just like a plague that's sweeping through the world, randomly killing folks, and I won't be part of it. Or I know I can't beat this dude. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the political angle like I'm standing up for something while the whole time I've pissed my pants because I know this guy's going to kick the shit out of me, and I don't want to lose to him. I'm leaning more towards knowing he's going to lose because I really don't think an athlete who's played that much to get to where he's at is just going to back down because he doesn't like it because the person he's playing from Israel. and he has a political bone to pick. You would think the opposite. Well, I'm going to beat this guy's ass and say I beat him because, Israelis are murderers, and I'm not, and that's why I won. God's on my side, and that's why I could beat him. So, yeah, I'm leaning more towards he's a coward, doesn't have the balls to say, look, this guy's just going to beat me. So he's going to make up some BS story, and everybody's going to go, applauding him. He's great. Well, he's standing up for his beliefs. No, he's not. Don't think that for 1 second. Really don't. Or don't get sucked into that BS with it. He's not playing him because he's afraid he's going to lose. I'm telling you. We'll never know. Only him and I guess Allah will ever know. But I'm willing to bet it's not because it's an Israeli player. It's because the guy he's going to play is going to kick his ass. And he doesn't want to get embarrassed. But I'm pretty sure the tournament went on anyway. Like, oh, well, this guy's not playing him. All right, moving right along. We're going to set up the next match. This guy can go eat some falafel or sleep with a sheep. I don't know what those people do. But he can go do whatever they do. This one is called Don't Break the Law, and you'll be fine. There's an owner, and I'll read it. I know you all can read, but the owner of a successful Peoria sushi restaurant who has lived in the U.S. for more than 2 decades without legal status. So she was here illegally for 20 years. Is facing deportation to Hong Kong within weeks. Okay, I'm looking for the problem in this whole statement. So you've been here 2 decades, 20 years. So you're trying to tell me somewhere in that 20 years you've been here, you haven't found the time to go, hey, maybe I should put my paperwork in and try to be here legally? I got no pity for you. You've had plenty of time. More than 2 decades. You've been in this country illegally and have made no steps to be here legally, which could have been done in 3 or 4 years, however long it takes. So you had 20 years to take 4 to become a citizen. But no, you didn't want to do that. You wanted to run a restaurant, sushi restaurant, and how are you paying taxes is what I'm wondering if you weren't here illegally. Because if you're not here illegally, you don't have a social security number. So unless you stole a social security number and made up a fake one, how are you paying taxes? I don't see. There's a whole bunch of other questions that would go into this that nobody's asking. All they're doing is playing the feelings game. Oh, poor her. She's been here 20 plus years and they're going to deport her. Okay. I can't find the problem with that. I can see if she's been here 2 weeks. Okay, give her some time. Let her do what she's got to do. But she's been here 20 plus years. 20 years. She's been here longer than my son's been alive. And she's trying to tell me she couldn't find the time to file the paperwork. And all that time, she couldn't take a day off to go down to immigration and fill out the paperwork or do it online now. She's been that busy pimping out sushi. She can't find the time to do it. Why do I find that extremely hard? Maybe it slipped her mind. Maybe she just forgot that she was here illegally and that she's supposed to fill out paperwork and pay taxes and do all that. Who knows? But you see the headline there? I wasn't allowed to say bye. You had 20 plus years. What's one more day going to do for you? I mean, come on. It's getting to the point now where the media, even Fox, the media is just so pathetic. She broke the law. Why is this even a story? Why is this getting fed to us? Like, oh, she's been here 20 plus years and she has a successful sushi restaurant and the mean old government is deporting her. She's facing deportation to Hong Kong within weeks. Would there be a story of a successful Peoria sushi restaurant owner who's lived in the U.S. for more than 2 decades, was arrested for drunk driving, and is facing jail time within weeks? And she wasn't even allowed to say bye. See, that would make no, like, oh, who cares? He broke the law. There's no difference. But we're supposed to feel sorry for her and not sorry for other criminals. We're supposed to feel sorry for her because I guess being a successful restaurant here that serves sushi makes you different than the millions of other people who are being deported. You should get a break because you give out raw fish. Just fill out the goddamn paperwork. That's all it takes. That's what I don't understand about this. None of this is that difficult. Is it time consuming? Yes. Is it expensive? Yes. It should be. It shouldn't be. Becoming a U.S. citizen should be like applying for a job at Walmart where it takes 10 minutes and they go, okay, you're in. Should be a little lengthy process. It should cost some money. And I guarantee if she's that successful, she's got the money. She just didn't want to pay for it because she thought she could just ride for free and never have to pay the price. And again, how is she paying taxes? I want to know that. She's been here 2 decades without legal status, so we know she doesn't have a legitimate Social Security number. How are they paying? How is she paying taxes? I would like to know that. I mean, I'm sure she was. I'm sure somehow. Where is she at? Washington State? Is that where she's at? Peoria. Wherever Peoria is, I'm sure they have bleeding heart liberals in it. Probably worked it out to where she could pay taxes somehow. Who knows? Phoenix. So I don't feel sorry for. I don't feel sorry for anybody who's been here for decades and hasn't made the attempt to become a citizen. That is not my problem. That is not your problem. That is their problem. They decided to gamble. They decided, hey, I'm going to gamble and see what happens. Illinois. My producer, Damon Sherrod, the man behind the scenes, just told me. Thank you, Damon. So yeah, I don't feel sorry for her. I don't. I can't. In 20 plus years, she's saying she couldn't find the time to fill out the paperwork. Well, guess what? Maybe you should, and you wouldn't be facing any of these issues, and you could still be selling raw fish to people in Illinois. That's great. I don't feel sorry for her. And if that makes me an asshole, that makes me an asshole. I just can't. 22 plus decades, you haven't found the time to become a citizen. I don't understand it. I never will. It's not like, hey, I got a parking ticket, I didn't pay it. I'm gonna wait. Big difference. If you know you're in a country illegally and they're gonna deport you, you probably should consider that like a priority and get it done as soon as you can. And if not, this is what's gonna happen to you. And nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. Nobody should feel sorry for you. It's not our problem. You were given 20 plus years to correct the mistake you made and you didn't. Sorry about your luck. This is happened Friday. President Trump and Putin met in Alaska to discuss the Ukrainian war and see if they could come to some agreement and maybe a ceasefire. President Trump returned to Washington early Saturday after a summit with President Vladimir Putin of Russia, in case you didn't know where he's from. And it ended without a stated agreement on any issue, much less on ending the war in Ukraine. Mr. Trump spoke after the summit with President Zelensky of Ukraine, who said he would travel to Washington on Monday, probably with his hand out wanting more money. Mr. Zelensky was not invited to the summit with Mr. Putin in Alaska, said he would meet with President Trump and discuss all the details regarding ending the killing and the war. Mr. Zelensky said that he had a long and substantive conversation with Mr. Trump, who discussed his meeting with Mr. Putin. And a lot of the liberals were all pissed off that he met with Putin. Look how friendly he is. They're shaking it. What did you want him to do? Like invite him to Alaska and what, spit in his face? Kick him in the balls? This is called negotiating. That's it. They're not going to have a warm, hot, steamy shower together after this and swap spit. They had a discussion. It has to be friendly or nothing's going to come of it. If not friendly, it has to be at least at the bare minimum. It has to be professional and civil. Him doing that doesn't mean anything. And if he likes him, and he likes him, who gives a shit? He's trying to end the war. Let him do what he's got to do to get it. And everybody's going, he failed. I can't think of one wartime negotiation that happened one day in like 6 hours and then the war ended immediately. It takes a couple times to do this. He's probably, I want this, I want this. Trump can't answer for Zelensky, so now he's going to talk to Zelensky. This is what he wants. Zelensky's going to go, I'm not going to give him that. Give me more money. He's going to go back to Putin. Well, Zelensky said this. What do you think? And then they start to work things out. And when he thinks everybody's calm enough, he'll bring them all together. Right now, everybody's hot and angry. And like Zelensky just said, he wants to end the killing and the war. He's not ready to talk to Putin face to face. And Putin's probably not ready to talk to him face to face. So let there be a middleman for right now. Let him work until things calm down, get everybody on the same page, and then he can bring them together. They can have discussions. First time going out, nothing's going to happen. But you can't tell libs that because they know everything. They're fucking geniuses and master negotiators and all that. They know everything. Whatever new trend is in the world, they're experts at it instantaneously. So I don't even try to talk to them. And then I don't know if you all saw like the videos of this, but when they were doing this, right, they shook hands. They were walking down the red carpet. Trump had a B-52 bomber escort fly over both of them. And, Putin's like, oh, wow, look at that. You know what that was? That was a flex. Like, dude, listen to me or this is what you're going to be looking at. Just relax and listen to what I got to say. That's all that was. That wasn't like trying to impress him. It was trying to intimidate him. And if a B-52 bomber doesn't intimidate you, you got balls of steel. Because those things are death from above. Just ask Iran. Too soon? Just ask Iran. They'll tell you all about those. So yeah, why people are upset that nothing got happened on the first go around is ridiculous. Like I said, nothing's going to happen the first go around. Nothing will happen the first go around with Zelensky. Like I said, it's going to be I want, or he did this. It's going to be a lot of finger pointing and angry. So nothing's going to happen the first couple of times, and no one should expect anything to happen the first couple of times. If after 3 or 4 meetings are still at this, then yeah, there's some concern. Something's going on somewhere, and it's not getting any better anytime soon. But give it time. Give it time. And the surest way to end this war, I tell you right now, stop giving Ukraine money. There you go. That'll do it. Not that not that Russia has millions to spend. They're getting depleted too, all the money they're spending on ammunition and troops and equipment. They're not far off from having to end this too because they're going to run out of money. But if we cut off the funding, things will trickle down quickly and it'll end. But for some reason, we want to be involved in this war. I don't think Trump wants to be involved in it, but liberals want to be involved in it because they're liberals. They just like spending other people's money. Even if it's on something that doesn't have a return, they like spending other people's money. The next couple of stories are kind of, I don't want to say horrific. Well, they are horrific. They're not graphic from what I had. Well, one of them might be. And I'm not giving people trigger warnings because you're an adult. And I'm not here to babysit or hold your hand and say, ooh, this might upset you. If it does, okay. Just look away. But I will say if you have children in the room, and I hope you don't have children listening to me, I really don't. But if you do have children that can hear or see the screen, you might want to turn them away just for the next couple of pictures, just because they're kids. And I don't want kids to be upset. This fat piece of trash was Brittany May was found guilty of child molestation. Apparently she was a babysitter and was handing over disabled children aged 3 to 7 to her boyfriend so he could rape them. Doesn't say how long this was going on. I don't care if it was a day or for a year. She got sentenced to 100 years in prison for allowing her boyfriend to rape disabled children. My first question is, why wasn't she executed? Second question is, why am I going to have, or not me, I think this is in Georgia, I believe, somewhere down there. Why do the taxpayers have to fund her life now for the next, well, she's big. She's probably got a heart disease, next 10, 15 years. And why wasn't the boyfriend, I didn't see anything about the boyfriend. They didn't mention him by name. Was he executed for what he did? These people cannot be rehabilitated. They're not going to go to prison and go, oh, I've seen the error of my ways. I'll never hurt another child again. Just let me out. Especially the boyfriend. If I read somewhere that pedophiles have a 100% repeat rate for their crimes. They just can't help themselves. Not that excuses it. That's just what goes on. They also make model prisoners because they want to get early release. That's until the other prisoners find out why they're in prison, and then it's usually sorted out pretty quickly, and the pedophile becomes a greasy spot on the floor. But that would be my first question: is why was she not executed? Why even waste the time and even say you're sentenced to 100 years? That's stupid. Why don't I just say we're gonna, you've been found guilty of a federal crime? I'm sure it's federal. The punishment is death. You're allowed one appeal. After that, the execution will be handed out, will be dealt with immediately. We're not going to draw this out for 25, 30 years. You have one appeal you can file for in the next 4 years. After that, if that falls through, we're sorry. We're going to commence with the execution the day after your appeal is denied. I don't have any pity for anybody that does anything to children. She was basically enabling her boyfriend to rape special. I mean, number one, it's horrible. 3 to 7, that's horrible enough. But now you're saying children 3 to 7 that were disabled. There's no lower form of scum than this lady and her boyfriend. I can't think of anything. That's just the most disgusting thing I think I've read. Not a beer. Thing I've read in a while. And again, it's horrible. There's no excuse. I would like to go to one of these trials and hear what their defense is. Well, my boyfriend threatened me if I didn't do it, he's going to kill me. So you live with your boyfriend, you saw him 24/7, you were never away from him, so you could call the police. I mean, I'm not saying that's what she said. I'm just saying I could see that being an excuse. Or I didn't know what my boyfriend was doing. Yeah, that sentence is far too long. It should be written down to an execution. Be done with it. Why let her live? The children that she handed over to her scum boyfriend are scarred for life, at the very least. Their life's never going to be the same after running into this monster. And they both should be executed and then thrown into a dumpster. That's it. There's no more to say about that. Moving on to an even lower, or not lower, on the same level, piece of human filth. This lady, her name is Yvette Thurston. She's 54 years old, punched the baby in the face repeatedly at Little Blessings Childcare in Bainbridge, Georgia. Staff lied and blamed the child. But when they looked at the cameras, they found out that subhuman Thurston was the one that beat that kid. Again, she was arrested and then bonded out. There you go. That's the problem with this country. Nobody wants to be held accountable for anything, and nobody wants to hold anybody accountable for what they do. Look at that little baby. That's not just one punch. That's a couple. Maybe a slap here and there, but the eye's a punch. Then you got the cuts around the mouth and the forehead, on the cheek. Looks like on the chin and on his right shoulder. Was that just some cuts? That was more than just a punch. I don't care what they say. And the staff that lied for her should go to jail too. If this is how people allow children to be treated, or this is how they treat children, like her, and again, this piece of trash, if these two people treat human beings or children like that, why do we want to keep them? Okay, so are we talking about, I'm sorry, so he was sentenced to 8 life terms without parole plus 300 years. We're talking about the boyfriend of Brittany May, I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Again, why? Why not just execute him? I don't get this. That's not justice. Justice is execute. This is a crime that would, I think, warrants execution. Anything that involves a child, like this, a rape, and a woman giving these children to be raped, should be execution. That should be it. I don't know why there's a question. Why everyone thinks, oh, that's justice served. He's doing 300 years. But he's still alive. He's still alive, breathing the air, and somebody's got to pay for him to eat and all that. He should be executed like an animal. Like this lady. Why would you do that to a baby? What could that kid have done that pushed her so far that she thought the only response she had was to punch him in the face? What? And then the staff lied to cover her. So then we got a whole building full of pieces of shit. And again, this was at Little Blessing Childcare in Bainbridge, Georgia. So if you live in Georgia, close to this place, please go by and demand they lose their license. Make sure all children will pull out, because I'm telling you, if they covered up for this, it's happened before. Maybe not as bad. It's happened before, and the staff lied to cover it. I'm telling you, I'm not going to be shocked if it comes out this is not the first time the staff has lied, or the first time that monster has ever done that to a child. Wouldn't be shocked at all if I found out both. That's horrible. That's just horrible. And that little kid's still kind of smiling because he's a kid. Kids are great. Hopefully he'll forget about this and lead a good, productive life and have a good one and have fun and make lots of friends. What's her face? Shitbird Thurston. I hope what's ever left of her miserable life is filled with pain and sorrow and suffering. Endless on all 3 counts. Endless. Just when she thinks it's getting better, hope something else horrible happens to her. That's all she deserves. At the very least, someone should kick her ass like she kicked that little kid's butt. Someone should stomp her into the ground, kick her in the face, and punch her. You can look at her. She looks like she's an evil person. Just look at the face. And granted, I understand that's a mugshot. No one's there grinning like it's a glamour shot. But look at her eyes. I mean, look at the little boy's eyes. Now look at her eyes. Soulless. That kid is, you can see in his eyes, he's having fun doing something right there. He's not even thinking about it. She's an evil human being. And I have no pity for her at all. None. Whatever happens to her is not going to be enough. So yeah, let's get off those monsters. They don't deserve any more airtime. Fuck them. See, things like that just aggravate me. I mean, just completely aggravate me. And it breaks my heart when kids like that, or kids period, are treated like that. That's just horrible. There's a special place in hell for people like that. Very special place. And I hope they get there sooner rather than later. All right. So if you haven't heard it yet, I don't know how. Trump has federalized the police department in D.C., brought in the National Guard to help restore law and order. I don't see a problem with that. He's allowed to do it. It's in the Constitution. He's allowed to call in and federalize police departments if he thinks they're not doing the job. But they're not. DC's a shithole. It's a dump. Has been forever. And during his speech about why he did it, he mentioned a couple other cities. I think he said New York, Detroit, and even Baltimore, he mentioned. Baltimore, which I don't know, and we'll get into this a little bit later, I don't know, but Baltimore has been ranked the fourth most dangerous city in the U.S. For homicides per capita. Baltimore is a cesspool. There's nothing worth going down there for. And if you have to go to Baltimore, I strongly advise you get out before the sun sets. And if you live there, I would make every effort to get out. There's nothing good. I don't care if people say, oh, I live in Federal Hill. Shut up. Just shut up. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Baltimore's a shithole. Nobody's lying about it. The statistics don't lie about it. They didn't make them up just to make Baltimore look bad. Baltimore's a shithole. It's the largest outdoor shooting range, or the fourth largest outdoor shooting range in the country. It's horrible. Decent law-abiding citizens shouldn't be there. If they're there, they need to get out. It's that simple. So save your drama that, oh, it's beautiful. It's not like that. Yes, it is. I believe stats, not you. And one of the, we just can't, Maryland, like I said right here, Maryland just can't stop the stupid. It can't. And just when we think we plateaued with stupid, hold my beer. This half moron, this jackass, he's the mayor of Baltimore. I think he's got the IQ of 2. He's not a very intelligent person. Doesn't sound very intelligent when he speaks. I don't know why now they got elected. Because he, again, like most politicians, liberal, they go for the lowest common denominator, stupid, and they appeal to the stupid people. He said if Trump wants to help fix the crime problem, more gun control will do it. A ban on AR-15s. That's this genius's idea of, hey, this will make everything safer. We will ban the AR-15. Jackass probably doesn't know that more crimes are committed with handguns and knives than AR-15s. AR-15s are the rare. Number one, it's a rifle. What are you going to do, run down the street with a rifle? No, you run down the street with a knife or a handgun. This guy knows absolutely dick about weapons. I can guarantee you that. He thinks AR-15s are bad because they look scary. They're scary looking. Little does he know that my 12 gauge I keep in my room will do far more damage to somebody than an AR-15. It's that simple. But he doesn't know, because he's not smart enough to realize he doesn't know what to educate himself. He's just going to go with the media. Go, AR-15's bad. I'd like to know how many AR-15 murders in Baltimore have occurred in the last 10 years. Willing to bet 0. Willing to bet. And then that same question, how many murders have happened in Baltimore that involved handguns? I'm sure hundreds. Knives and other weapons, probably hundreds, far more than AR-15s. But that's his answer to the crime problem, and that's why Baltimore's as bad as it is, because you have this jackass running the show. I mean, really. I mean, what do you expect when you've got a moron that thinks AR-15s being banned will stop all the crime? I probably a public school graduate, willing to bet that. If he graduated, I don't know. Mayor Scott is just I'm glad I don't live in Baltimore. If you live in Baltimore, I'm sorry to hear about it, but get out. Get out. Your mayor thinks the problem is AR-15s. He thinks that's going to solve everything. get out if you can. That's my strongest advice. And just when you thought it can't get stupider than that jackass, again, like I said, Maryland says, hold my beer. And then pipes more stupid. The governor of Maryland, who really, I can't describe him. There aren't words strong enough to describe how stupid he is. Number one, the first thing I want to do, though, is I want to thank Larry Hogan for getting this man elected. Larry Hogan was a Republican governor before Moore. When Wes Moore ran, Governor Hogan supported him and campaigned for him along with the Republican Party in Maryland. Some of the candidates in Maryland funneled money to him, Wes Moore, a Democrat, to get elected because they didn't like the fact that Dan Cox beat Kelly Schultz and became the nominee for governor on the Republican side because he wasn't kissing Hogan's ass and didn't go all the right parties, didn't shake all the right hands. So the Republican establishment didn't like him, so they worked against him. This is what we got because the Republicans in Maryland are cowards. They're spineless turds. This is what we got. He's upset that the National Guard was, and he's also stolen valor, says he got an award to the military that they never got. The guy's full of shit and he's a liar, which is not, that goes hand in hand with the title liberal. That's all part and parcel with being a liberal. They can't be honest to save their lives. But he criticized the National Guard deployment in D.C. and claims White House claims crime underreported. And that's true. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but that's true. Once again, Wes Moore has the balls of a 2-year-old, so he can't be a man, doesn't know how to lead. He'll talk to you all day, but I was in the military. I did this and that. I was in the military too. And if that's all you have is I was in the military and you want to be in politics, that's not enough as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it gives you a leg up. Yes, you have a little bit more experience than the average person, but that can't be the end-all, be-all. I was in the military. Okay, what'd you do? You could have been a cook. You could have been groundskeeper. You could have been a boatswain's mate in the Navy, which means you're kind of just cleaning up the ship. Doesn't translate into being a leader. Translating into you can start something, you can stick to it. You stood up for your country, you volunteered. That is awesome. But there has to be more behind that to be a leader. There's got to be. And I'm not knocking the military, so please save the nasty emails I'm sure some of you are furiously typing out now to send me. It's not what I'm saying. I just said military gives you a leg up on the average person, but there has to be more substance to it. There has to be more than that. There's got to be something else. Like you worked in the world after the military as a leader, as a manager. You owned a business. You understand what it means to provide a paycheck for people or to keep people employed. That is what I mean. Military is great. It gets you in the door. You got my attention now. Follow it up with something. This man's a jackass. He's a liar. And we are stuck with him because of the Republican Party in Maryland. If you live in Maryland, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not making any of this up. Look it up. But he thinks the White House is lying and there's no need for the National Guard in D.C. and Baltimore is safe and everything's a lie. They're all working against him and that other jackass, what's his name? Mayor Scott. It's all a bunch of crap. None of it's true. It's all made up. Blah, 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 blah. The typical song and dance from liberals. Nothing's true unless they say it. It's all made up. Doesn't make sense. Don't listen to it. Go on about your business. It's not true. Baltimore's safe. That's what they want you to believe. It's not. It's not a safe city. It hasn't been for quite some time. This is not news. But yeah, Maryland's panty waist leaders are out there complaining that law shouldn't be enforced and all that other jazz. Sometimes you just got to shake your head and say, whatever, dude. Whatever. Got to pay the bills. We'll be right back and we'll talk about more stuff.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
So, yep, it's not just me. You got Alexandra Levine, you got Damon the Hammer Galdo. They got their shows. We got another gentleman, and I can't remember his name. He does like a health podcast. I think it's Wednesdays. Pretty smart dude. Got a lot of information. You should listen to them all. If you think I'm okay, those guys are great. I'm like the low part of the bar. They're way up here. So just check them out. And again, my name is Seth Eisenberg. This is the Conservative Corner. We just got done talking about the stupid Maryland, and now we're going to move to the stupid in the nation. It seems everybody that's had their 15 minutes of fame, maybe it's not over, but it's waning, and they just can't let it go. So they always got to say something about something, and they know the more controversial that what they say, the bigger the news will be, the bigger the coverage. They get their name out there more. So of course, right now everybody's really working on Trump and everything he does. So these has-beens or soon-to-be has-beens are screaming and yelling and cursing and talking about Trump this, Trump that, and Trump and his followers, because they know that will get them into the mainstream media. That'll get them coverage. That'll get their name back out there, so people won't be going, who? Who's that? They'll be, oh, I remember that person said X, Y, Z. Yeah. That's how it works. This time, and I guarantee you're not going to, maybe you will know who she is. I didn't know who she was. I had to look her up. But here's what's her hole. That's Jennifer Welch, whatever. I don't know if you've heard what she had to say, but I had to look her up. And what I found was that Jennifer Welch, a former Bravo reality television personality from Sweet Home, Oklahoma, I don't know what that is raising eyebrows for a rant on her I've Had It podcast, which was directed at supporters of President Donald Trump. I don't know what she did on the Bravo reality network, what her Bravo reality show was. I don't know what her skills are. I mean, obviously she's not a model. Looks like she's a catcher, like her face is like a catcher's mitt. I don't know. But obviously she had some following at some point. I also read that she's divorced, which is kind of shocking. I mean, she seems like such a level-headed, intelligent woman. She's divorced. And there's some other schmuck that's on her podcast, The Pump or something. I don't know what her name. I don't know anything about her. Like I said, I had to look up that little bit. So I have no idea what she did on Bravo. And frankly, I don't care. I'm sure it was some stupid, look at me, I can paint a wall that makes me an interior decorator, some shit like that. I don't know. But, she got on her little podcast with The Pump or whatever I don't know who it is, and made some comments. And I have the comments, and there's more to it than I'm reading. It's like a whole spiel she went into, just, verbal diarrhea. Once these people get started, they can't stop because they're just ruled by emotions. So once they get on a roll and their emotions are kicking in, they just keep going. They can't stop. They can't help themselves. No matter how stupid or ignorant they sound, they're making themselves feel better. And really, at the end of the day, that's all that matters to them is them and how they feel. And if they feel good, that's all that matters. So they keep going. And she said some ignorant stuff. I mean, some pretty racial stuff, but it's okay because she's a liberal. She's allowed to be racist and say racist stuff because liberals are just better people, and we're just ignorant and should just bow down to their superior intellect. That's what they expect us to do. So here's some of what she said. I've had it with white people that triple trumped, that have the nerve and the audacity to walk into a Mexican restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, or an Indian restaurant, or go to perhaps their gay hairdresser. She recalled an instance of seeing a MAGA-looking people at a Mexican restaurant and saying they had a lot of fucking nerve, given the Trump's administration on immigration policies. Again, she's not a very intelligent person because Trump, no enforcement agency is targeting immigrants. Not one. They're targeting illegal aliens, people who've broken the law. So obviously she's for lawlessness. I mean, because she's upset that people are being thrown out of the country for not being here illegally. So she's for lawlessness, doesn't believe there should be borders. And if you agree with enforcing the law and you're white and you supported Donald Trump, you shouldn't be allowed into, Mexican restaurants, Chinese restaurants, Indian restaurants, or go see your gay hairdresser. You should not be allowed to do that if you're white and a Trump supporter. Can you imagine if someone got on the TV and said, if you're black and supported Kamala Harris, all this should apply to you too? They'd be branded a racist and their show would be canceled and they would never hear the end of it. They'd be attacked and doxxed. But since this lonely, lonely white woman clinging to her 15 minutes of fame in any way she can says it, it's okay. It's not okay. It's not. At some point, these has-beens have to accept the fact that you're not going to be famous forever. At some point, someone's going to say your name and the response will be, who? Never heard of her. And that's all right. Life will go on. But when you're insecure in who you are and your whole life is wrapped around what you do, you get someone like this person. You get catcher's mitt. This is what you get, an angry, bitter woman who's divorced. Obviously, we know why now. She can't keep her mouth shut and says the most asinine things. Can't understand that she's not famous anymore. So she's going to, like I said, if you can't be famous, be controversial. She's going to be controversial, which is just as good. She's going to garner the attention like this. There'll be liberals that like, oh, I'm going to start listening to her podcast or watching it or whatever. Her and the pump, whatever, I don't know. Because she says some really great things. But after even the liberals, after watching her for a couple episodes, are going to realize she's a one-trick pony. She's got nothing. She's got no substance. She's just, it's like Stephen Colbert. They're going to attack Trump over and over and over, and that's all they're going to do because that's all they can do because that's all they know. Even though it's not true or they're making stuff up or they're elaborating on it and it's not really funny, they're going to keep doing it. And eventually, like Colbert, the people are like, you know what? That was funny 20 years ago. It was funny 10 years ago. It's not funny anymore. You're not interesting. You say the same things in different ways all the time. It's about the same people doing the same things, and I just don't like it anymore. Goodbye. That's what will happen to catcher's mitt eventually. It'll happen to me eventually. I fully understand that the 25 people that watch this show aren't always going to watch it. In a couple of months to a year, people will get bored with me like, guy does the same things all the time. I don't want to listen to him. And you'll stop watching. I understand that. It's not an insult to her. It's just a fact of life. Things change. And the worst thing to see is somebody fighting change. Got to go with it. But she's not. So she made those statements, and I'm sure she's made those statements before, but they probably weren't as controversial, and they didn't make it into the mainstream media, so she had to up it up, and this is what she came up with. And apparently it worked. She's in the news now. She seems like she's important, and what she has to say makes a difference. Here's what I think. She's an attention whore. And as it says, a person who behaves in a provocative, outrageous, or reprehensible manner in order to attract attention. That's all she's doing. She's an attention whore. She's doing whatever she can to stay relevant, to make sure nobody forgets her and her Bravo show, whatever she did on Bravo. I don't know. That's why she's doing this. She's an attention whore. And she's not the only one out there. There's hundreds and thousands of them out there. But she's the one I'm talking about now. Her and Pump. I got to find out what that other her co-host name is because I hope it's not Pump. I mean, was she a Pump Pig? I don't know. But she's an attention whore. I guess she's got sponsors she's got to keep interested. The only way to keep your sponsors is to keep your viewership up. So she's going to say whatever she can to get that attention. She'll do anything for attention. She's a whore, an attention whore. Why? Just because I support Trump, why shouldn't I be able to eat in a Mexican restaurant? Just because I think laws should be enforced, I shouldn't be able to go to an Indian restaurant? I don't care about the hairdresser. I got maybe 3 more haircuts in me, and then that's all gone. So I'm not worried about the gay hairdresser. I don't care. I don't have hair to dress. But yeah, and then you've got a lot of fucking nerve given the Trump's administration on immigration policy. That's the whole thing with these people. Words matter. They carry weight. So she's saying that that Trump's administration policies on immigration are horrible. That's not what's going on. Trump's administration's policies on illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, is what she means. But if she says that, she'll sound even stupider than she does now. If she says, well, Trump's policy on illegal aliens is horrible, they shouldn't be deported. Why not? What should happen to them then? So she can't say that. So she says the administration's immigration policy. So that makes it sound like he's attacking everybody. If you're not American, then he's attacking you. That's not the case. There are people that are from Mexico, Asia, Europe, Middle East that live here legally, have nothing to worry about. Nothing. And they're immigrants. So it's not about immigrants or immigration. It's about illegal aliens. That's all this is about. And like I said, Miss Welsh can't say that. Because if you say that, then you really can't be upset with it, because all he's doing is holding people accountable for breaking the law. And who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to see people who break the law be held accountable? There's nothing wrong with that. So she changes the words, because liberals are very emotional driven. They don't rely on facts. It's how they feel and what they think trumps facts. More important than reality. And she knows this. So she's not a stupid woman. Not a stupid woman at all. She knows how to, hustle the group, hustle the mob. And she's doing that. And the funny thing is the mob is too stupid to understand that they're being hustled. They firmly believe Trump is after trying to get rid of immigrants and immigration changes it all. It's not the case. Not the case at all. It's illegal aliens. That's what he's focused on. She knows it, but she's got to change the words so she can become controversial, keep her sponsors and all her viewers. That's why she's doing this. There's no substance to anything she says. Nothing. I mean, really? I've had it with white people. We've had it with you. We've had it with people like you. Deal with reality. If you don't like the fact that he's chasing out illegal aliens, say that. Just be honest. Hey, I don't like the fact that Trump is holding people who've come in this country illegally accountable and deporting them. I don't agree with that. Okay. Now we can have a discussion, because you're dealing with facts now. You're starting off a conversation based in facts, not based on your feelings. But when you say, given the Trump's immigration policies, what immigration policy are you talking about? The one where we enforce the law? That's what you don't like? You can't start off a conversation or debate or back and forth with a falsehood, because then the whole conversation is trying to agree on what the true facts are. And she's not going to deal in facts. She's going to make racist statements about things she has no knowledge of. And when she realizes the words that she used might work against her, she'll change the words because she's dishonest. And that's what you get. You get catcher mitt and the pump, whatever her co-host name is. I don't care. That's what you get. Complete, straight, and utter bullshit from a human being trying to keep sponsors and make money, because she realizes time is limited, that she's not going to be famous forever, and that scares the shit out of her. That's what bothers her. Not these Trump things. What bothers her is being a nobody. She thinks she'll be a nobody if she's not famous anymore. She's going to do whatever she can to stay relevant. And that's what's really sad. It truly, truly is sad. Her and the pump, whatever. Again, we have the chat. Feel free to post something. Psycho Mom 3 answered a question I asked earlier. Comments, questions, put them up there. I'll answer them if I can. If I can, I'll tell you I can't answer it. I don't know it all. I never claimed to know it all. But hey, I like to be involved. Got to take another break here. Got to pay the bills, keep people happy, that sort of stuff. So we'll be right back, and we'll talk about more things that upset me, if we can get there.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
So that's Alexandra Levine. She's, like she said, she's our White House correspondent. She gets to go down there and rub elbows with all the important people. I think Damon the Hammer Galdo has been to D.C. a couple of times. I even think our producer, Damon Sherrod, has been down there a few times. They keep me locked in a cage and away from the civilized folk. They don't want me anywhere near them because it could get ugly. I don't know. I even shave. I would shave and get what hair I had left cut and probably put on something other than a T-shirt and go down there. But they're smart. They're not going to let me down there. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't let me go down there either. Because there's no telling what could come out of my mouth. It even shocks me sometimes. Like literally, like, wow, I just said that out loud. Shit. But yeah, got Hammer, Damon Galdo, Alexandra Levine. We do Wednesdays, the Pulse. I don't know if you see that. We all get together and we talk about issues that are going on across the nation, across the world. Special guest change. It's fun. Elena Barbera is usually the go-to, and Tim Fazenbaker, who's running for county council in Baltimore County in Maryland. Another good guy. Both of them are very smart, friendly, approachable, funny people. They know their shit. So check us out on Wednesdays. Again, if you're liking this show or any other shows we have, like, subscribe, and follow and share us with everybody you know. Like I've always said, the more we get out and the more followers we get, the louder our voice becomes, and they can't ignore us anymore. They have to listen to us. And like all the other people on this network, we're not here to change your mind. We're not here to make you think the way we think. We're just giving our opinion. And hopefully at some point when we give our opinion, you might go, oh, I never thought of that. And you'll look into it or at least hear us out. And that's all we ask. I don't expect everybody that watches me to go, oh, Seth is right. Seth is God. Follow Seth. All hail Seth. I don't expect that. It would be nice, but I don't expect it. I'm not asking anybody to start, the Church of Seth. Not asking. Just listen to what I have to say. And if it makes you think, that's great. That's really great. And that's all I ask for. And if not, just have fun. I mean, comment, say something. The back and forth is great. If you got something to say, say it. Even if you disagree with me, go ahead and put it up there. That's fine. I don't care. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Really, you're not. I'm a big boy. I was in the Navy. I've been screamed and yelled at by people whose job title had so many letters after it, I can't even remember. Very, very important people. So you're not going to hurt my feelings. I used to hold the flashlight for my father while he worked on his car. So trust me, you're not going to hurt my feelings. Speaking of which, I don't know if you follow me on X at Conservative Seth. It's my father's birthday on the 15th. He's 76 years old, retired police officer. He worked for the U.S. Park Police. He's worked out of Greenbelt, Maryland, PG County. If you know anything about Maryland, PG County is not the right side of the tracks, we'll say. It's a rough area, especially back when he was a cop. He was motorcycle police. He was there when Reagan got shot. He was actually there, like on the sidewalk when that happened. He was there when the Washington Monument got taken hostage by the guy with the van that said it had explosives. He's been through a lot of stuff and seen a lot of stuff. So I was, just want to give him a little shout out here. Happy birthday, Dad. You earned at least a day of doing nothing. I love you and thank you for everything you've helped me with and shown me. I appreciate it. So there's that. Maybe I'll have him on one day. We can talk about all the stuff he sees. He was there when the Air Florida flight went down. He's seen a lot of stuff down there. It's insane, the things he's seen and been a part of. I think it'd be neat or interesting at the very least to hear what he had to say. So maybe I'll try. I don't know. He's pretty quiet about that stuff. He doesn't go around bragging about it. So maybe I'll see. No promises. So you're stuck with me. So, as I said before, Trump had the National Guard brought in, federalized the police department because it's getting out of hand. I would kind of hope he would do that with Baltimore too. I mean, like I said before, Baltimore was ranked number 4 in the nation as one of the most dangerous cities, the 4th in the country. So top 5 made the top 4. So he brought the guard into D.C. to do their thing. And there are people who are actually protesting law. Law is being enforced. These people, I don't know what their thought process is. It's not like there's martial law in Frederick, or in D.C. Things can still go on as normal. You can do what you want to do. There's just a larger presence. And if you're not breaking the law, why do you care? They're not telling you can't travel here, you have to be home by then, or where are your papers. They're not doing anything. They're there as a visual deterrent so far. I think like the first 24 hours there, they made like over 100 arrests. Not innocent people. They didn't lock up your next door neighbor because their lights were on. They locked up criminals, 100 of them. And you have people out there protesting. That's like chickens upset that you put a fence up so the fox can't get into the hen house. That's how much sense this makes. We're protesting Trump and the National Guard. We like the lawlessness. We like the murder. We like the carjackings. We like the drug deals. We like it all. This is what happens. I'm sorry, there's something in my throat. This is what happens when you don't like somebody based on feelings and emotions. So anything they do is wrong. Trump could find the cure for cancer tonight, announce it to the world, and liberals will become pro-cancer. They would defend cancer. I'm not kidding. I mean, look at this. He's not done anything except nationalize or federalize the police department, which should have been done at DC police are a fucking joke. Brought in the Trump and the National Guard to help augment the police department. That's all he's done. Hasn't changed any laws. Hasn't initiated curfews or anything like that. And these people are upset that there's more help. Police have more help now. I'm not making this up. This is what they're protesting. That's what they're upset about. That the police now have the manpower to enforce the law and they have help. They don't want that. That's what dictators do. Dictators enforce the law. Fascists and kings do that, not presidents. Presidents should sit on their ass like Joe Biden did and do nothing except mumble about their leg hair and some dude named Corn Pop or whatever the hell his name was, and fall downstairs and fall off bikes. That's all presidents should do. They should accomplish nothing. I could see, like I said, I could see if he was like initiating a curfew where you had to have papers to be outside, then yes, let's protest that. That's wrong. That's just wrong. He's not doing that. He's done nothing that's outside the scope of his powers. Nothing. And if these people would take a second, take their thumb out of their ass, and look at the Constitution and the laws and the books, they would understand he's done nothing wrong. Nothing. But you can't tell them that because, like I said, liberals know everything. They are geniuses. They know more than anybody else, and we just need to stop questioning them because the way they feel is more important than what actually is. And I talked about this earlier. The D.C. commander suspended, accused of changing crime stats. D.C. police. So what he's saying is the police union says directive to change all offensive classifications comes from command staff. So they're making it seem like there's less crime in D.C. when there's actually more. This is the information the president has to go on. You have the police department lying about crime stats. You have crime that's out of control. You have drug dealers, open air market. You have carjackings, people being assaulted, just general mayhem. That's not just been going on for a couple of months. It's been going on as long as I can remember. So we finally have a president, it's got the shits of it, and said, that's enough. We're done. I've given you plenty of time to try to correct this issue, and you haven't. So I'm going to federalize the police department, send in the National Guard. We're going to take care of it this way. I mean, they interviewed the interim police chief in D.C., and they asked, who's in your chain of command? Her response said, what's that? She didn't even know what the chain of command was. Chief of police in D.C. was asked, who's in the chain of command? And her question was, what's that? Are you kidding me? That's what we're dealing with in D.C. as far as the police. Not all the cops in D.C. are idiots. Not all of them. It's probably just the upper echelon. The street cops probably like, well, shit, we need the help. Thank God. We got it. We can do it. It's the higher ups that are more concerned about a career in politics than they are about serving the people. Didn't know, had no idea what the chain of command was. What's that? That should help you sleep at night. That should make you feel real safe about everything that's going on in D.C. I mean, crap. I don't get it, how some people get their jobs. It's ridiculous. Here we are. Back to Baltimore. Mayor Scott, stupid, and Governor Moore, bigger stupid, lead 48 officials in denouncing Trump's comments on Baltimore. Trump just echoed what the report said. It's the fourth most dangerous city in the country based on homicides per capita. The poll released by the U.S. News World Report ranked cities based on murder and property crimes using FBI crime reports. Baltimore was ranked behind only Memphis, Oakland, and St. Louis. So fourth in the country. And they're upset with Trump. He's just reading what was said. Again, this is all indicative of somebody who doesn't like someone. So no matter what that person says, they're wrong. Doesn't matter if it's facts. Doesn't matter if it's truth. They're wrong. Even though the FBI says they're right. The World News Report, and I don't really trust the FBI, but numbers are numbers. You can't fudge numbers. If there was 10, there's 10. If there's 9, there's 9. You can't really fudge a number. And I believe it. Baltimore's a cesspool. The city is a dump. It's horrible. So yeah, they're upset with Trump for reading a report. Baltimore ranked fourth most dangerous city in new poll. And I just read it's only Memphis, Oakland, and St. Louis that are more dangerous than Baltimore. That's not made up. Trump didn't make that up. That is what it is. Those are the numbers. The numbers say that, not Trump. But that's just how it goes. And people will defend it. They'll defend Baltimore. The crime's not that bad here. Yeah, you're right. The reports are made up. The FBI is lying. They had nothing better to do. They said, you know what? Let's make Memphis, Oakland, St. Louis, and Baltimore look really bad. When they're really not, in fact. But let's do it anyway. Because that's what we do. We just make things up. Does that sound realistic or does that sound more realistic? Hey, the numbers are what the numbers are. You're number 4 in the country. Deal with it. I mean, that's just how it is. It's not based on anybody's feelings. Like I said, numbers are numbers. The reports are the reports. You put it together, this is what you get. You're number 4. Keep it classy, Baltimore. If you keep trying, you'll be number 1 in no time. And with the people they have in charge there, that won't shock me. It really, really won't. They have piss poor leadership at the city level. They have piss poor leadership at the state level. You're trapped. You've got idiots running it. There's no way out. And the people keep voting these morons in and will complain about the crime, which makes it even funnier. Oh, the crime in Baltimore is horrible, blah, blah, blah. But God bless Mayor Scott. He's doing a great job. Really? Is he doing that good of a job if the crime's that bad? That's his city. He's responsible. But they don't see it that way. There's always some out for libs. They always have some excuse they can pawn off and blame it on somebody else. You can't make this up. You can't. And it's sad because there are decent people that live in Baltimore City. There's a lot of decent people that live in Baltimore City. Good people that are trapped there for economic reasons or whatever. They can't get out. And they got to deal with that bullshit all the time. Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, Mayor Scott in Baltimore is holding fundraisers in Martha's Vineyard. The dude's the mayor of Baltimore, going to Martha's Vineyard to raise money for his re-election campaign in Baltimore. Why can't you run a re-election fundraiser in your own city? I'll tell you why. Because people see you for the fucking incompetent fool that you are and aren't going to give you money. So you got to leave the state to find someone stupid enough to give you money to run for the re-election. That's it. There's no other reason. No other reason. And nobody sees a problem with it. That's the problem. Nobody wants to admit there's a problem at all. They want to bury their head in the sand and go, no, it's okay that he goes to Martha's Vineyard. No, it's not. He's not running in Martha's Vineyard. He's running in Baltimore City. Big difference. Why isn't he in Baltimore City, pounding the pavement, knocking on doors and getting donations there? And I just told you why, because people know he's incompetent. They know he's an idiot. They're not going to give him money. They might give him the finger, tell him to get to hell. Hell, if he goes to some parts of Baltimore, depending on the time of day, he might get shot. So yeah, that's the only reason you leave your home turf to get money is because you know in your home turf, nobody likes you. They're not going to give you money. So you leave and you go collect money from other places. And he'll get money from up there because those people are just as liberal as he is, just as stupid as he is. They'll bury their hand in the sand, stick their thumb up their ass, and go, everything's fine. Everything's great. Baltimore's a safe city. Trump's just lying. It's not that bad. DC's not that bad either. Trump's lying. And people and other liberals will believe that BS. You won't be able to convince them otherwise. You can show them all the stats you want, all the reports, all the numbers, all the facts. They're not going to listen to you because Trump said it. And they hate Trump. So no matter what comes out of Trump's mouth, they're not going to believe it. It's that simple. And that's pathetic. I didn't like Biden. But if he had facts to say, facts are facts. You can't argue a fact. And that's the difference between liberals and conservatives. Conservatives may not like a politician. We may think he's the dumbest idiot on the face of the planet. But if he has facts behind what he's saying, we will listen. We may not like the messenger. We may not like what he's saying. We may not like the person. But if there are facts, we will listen to the facts. If you're a liberal, if you don't like the person delivering the news, doesn't matter. Facts or no facts, you're not going to listen to it. You're not going to believe it. He's lying or she's lying, and you're going to attack them and make it personal. That's the major difference between a conservative and a liberal. The ability to hold two opposing thoughts in your head at the same time. Don't like this guy, but he's got facts, so I'm going to listen to him. Liberal, I don't like him. I don't like him. Seriously, that's what it is. I may not like you at all, but if you're talking to me and you're being factual and you're being civil, I'm going to listen to you. And I may even agree with you. Like, hell, you know what? I didn't know that. Okay. I'll have to look into that myself. If I was a liberal, that's all I would do. Don't care. You know what? The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. The sun's a big ball of gas. It's not really solid. If I was a liberal and you're telling me that and I don't like you, you're lying. Show me your research. Show me where you're getting that from. I don't believe you. That's lie. You're a liar. You're just making that up. Racist. Seriously, that's what a liberal will do. They don't want to hear anything from someone they don't like, facts or not. They just don't want to hear it. Don't believe me? Go have a conversation with somebody who's liberal and doesn't like you and give them facts and watch them lose their shit. I'm not lying. This made me laugh. Let me trade this so you can see it. This made me laugh. Teenagers in D.C. say the federal police takeover makes them feel unsafe. When President Trump announced his crackdown on crime in D.C., the local U.S. attorney said she wanted to focus on juveniles. But experts say harsher punishments don't deter. Bullshit. The problem in D.C. is nobody's punished for anything. They're allowed to do what they want when they want with no repercussions. So we don't know if harsher punishments will deter them. We don't know. We'll have to find out. And maybe it doesn't work for adults. Maybe, when you become a hardened criminal, the threat of jail doesn't scare you anymore because you have more friends on the inside than you on the outside. I don't know. But if you're a kid, jail scares the shit out of you. And I think that's a deterrent if they actually had to spend some time in jail. Now, it's like that guy that was it D.C., I think it was, the Baltimore guy that beat up the old gentleman who was a pro-life protester. And this guy, beat him. Broke his orbital bone. I think his left eye. He's blind there now. Just beat the elderly guy. The guy was elderly. The guy was younger. He goes to court and gets sent home. He got home detention for a major assault. That's not a deterrent. If you go to D.C., and you got juveniles who are breaking the law, and they get a slap on the wrist, and they get to go home, of course, no, that's not a deterrent. Where's the fear? Where's the, oh my God, if I get caught, I'm in trouble? They don't have to worry about their parents. Because if they had to worry about their parents, they wouldn't be out there doing the crap they were doing in the first place. So obviously there's nothing at home that deters them. So when parents fail, society has to step in. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. I firmly agree with that. It starts with the family. If the family's doing a good job, the village needs to stay the hell out of it. The family can't do it, the village needs to help because that child will affect the village. It's that simple. So if there's no deterrent at home for breaking the law and committing crimes, then unfortunately the state has to step in and make sure that there's a deterrent and there's punishment and there's accountability. And I think, based on depending on the crime committed by the juvenile, the parent should also face the same punishment. I'm not talking stupid kid stuff. Excuse me, kid out late doing kid stuff, just being a kid, being loud and unruly, but not bothering anybody, not destroying property, nothing like that. They're just being a kid. Kids are going to be kids. Let them do kid stuff. But if they're out there committing crimes, like legit crimes, murder, assault, carjacking, drug dealing, armed robbery, anything like that, the parent should face the same punishment. If the child is looking at 30 days, so should the parents. You start hitting the parents for the actions of their child, parents are going to have to step up and start being parents, start holding their kids accountable. As long as parents aren't bearing the weight, what do they care? Most of the parents that these kids have don't care about them in the first place. Or like I said, they wouldn't be out doing what they're doing. Their parents would be in their ass going, no, you're not going to get to school. Stop being a fool. Stop fighting. Stop cutting. They'd be doing something, but they're not because they don't care either. So you need to make them care. And how do you make them care? You hit them in the wallet. You take away from them. Then they're going to start caring. Or the state needs to step in and pull the kids out of that environment. Obviously, you're not fit to be parents. You don't have the intelligence that God gave in that. We're not going to let you raise this kid and ruin this kid to make him an adult criminal. We're going to take him on as a child, and we can still help him and give him to a family that really wants to be parents, that wants to be involved, that want to do something. And I don't want to hear anything on that because that's what it boils down to. Either you want to be involved and you don't. How do I know if you want to be involved as a parent? Your kid's not out there breaking laws. They're going to school. They're respectful. That shows me you care and you're involved. If they're out there breaking the laws, being disrespectful, fighting and cussing and stealing and carrying guns, shows me you're not involved because you don't know what your kid's doing because they're out there doing it. I can't remember what school system it is in West Virginia. I'll look it up for next weekend. They have something called, I think it's Saturday suspension or something like that. And the deal is, as long as it's your first offense and it's a nonviolent thing, if your parent will sit in the detention with the child on a Saturday, it will not go on the student's record and it will be expunged. They'll get a fresh start. I think that's a great idea. I think every school system should do that. That'll tell you immediately what parents are involved and who's not involved. You'll know if that kid's fighting an uphill battle on his own or if his parents are there and this was just a mistake they made and it probably won't happen again. I think that's a great idea. And I think it should go into the criminal courts too. Your kid comes in, breaks a law. You know what? We're going to give him 60 hours of community service. We'll make it 100 hours of community service. We'll make it 50 if the parent does it with him. If not, it'll be 100 hours plus there's going to be a fine. And we all know the parents will have to pay the fine. If you work it with them, we'll do 50, no fine. And this will be off his record after the community service is complete. I think it'd be a great idea. Again, it would tell the courts immediately what parents are involved and care about their children and which don't give a shit about their kids and could care less. You'll know immediately. I think that's a great idea. It'll never happen. But I think if it did, I think we'd see a lot of crime committed by juveniles drop. Maybe that's wishful thinking. Maybe it's not going to work and it'll get worse. I don't know. But we got to try something. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, depending on the law you've broken and you're a child, you're still worth the work. We're willing to help you. We're going to do what we can to help you and get you out of this rut or get you out of this cycle and get you back into where you should be. A kid having fun, enjoying life. None that they're robbing and stealing, folks, murdering and dealing drugs. And if that's because your parents don't want to be involved, we're gonna take care of that too. And it's not everybody should be a parent. It's like everybody should. There's some people that shouldn't be cops. Some people shouldn't be doctors. Some people shouldn't be teachers. Some people shouldn't be parents. Unfortunately, they are. And that's no fault of the child. Child didn't ask to be here. Parents made a decision, had the kid, and if they can't raise them and they don't have the wherewithal to give them to somebody who can, the state has to. And that may sound like well, that's not a conservative value. Yes, it is, because I'm erring on the side of caution when it comes to children. And I'm not just saying because a kid gets a bad grade in school or he gets in trouble doing something stupid, we pull the kid out. I'm saying we're talking about criminal acts, repeated criminal acts of a minor. Shows you that the parent's not involved or the parent can't control the kid. There needs to be some intervention. That's what I'm saying. If your kid gets suspended because, he's late to class or doing some other stupid kid stuff, no. That's what kids do. Kids do stupid things, and hopefully they don't do the same stupid thing again, and again. That's what I'm saying. So don't tell me I'm not conservative. I am. I just want to err on the side of caution when it comes. I want to give the kids the benefit of the doubt until they don't get the benefit of the doubt anymore. So yeah, these teenagers saying, "Well, I don't feel safe. I feel more unsafe." No, you're just worried you're going to be held accountable. You can't be out till 2, 3 in the morning showing your ass, acting like a fool, because they're going to tell you to go home. And if you get lippy, they're going to lock you up. Accountability is scary to people who've never been held accountable. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out my ass. And Frederick this weekend, speaking of talking out of your ass, a bunch of unemployed people got together and decided to protest the National Guard in D.C., protest gerrymandering in Texas, and to defend Gaza. I mean, the big three. It's Trump, Republican politicians, and Israel. The big three now, they protest. If you asked any one of these people to state their point, they couldn't. They would just start screaming, Trump is a fascist, Trump is a king, the talking points. They couldn't articulate an argument with anybody that has an IQ, a functioning IQ. They can't, because they're not smart people. They're just not. As you can see, you got the Trump sign, anti-Trump, Trump this, Trump that. Not an American flag can be seen. It's getting ridiculous at this point. I mean, these people come out and again, this is covered by the Frederick News Post. It's a rag of a newspaper that I wouldn't use to wrap fish in or line the bottom of a bird cage with. That's how important and in-depth and groundbreaking that newspaper is. I wouldn't use it to wipe my ass. It's a joke. But of course, they're putting this out there because they support all this crap. There's another picture with liberty and justice for all. Resist what exactly? Resist the laws of the land being enforced. And who's not experiencing liberty and justice in this country? Even the people that are here illegally are still being fed, are still being housed and clothed and receiving medical care. So who exactly is not getting any of this? I'd like to know. And the chick with the resist sign probably would do better just going into the kitchen and making me a sandwich, because she doesn't look like she has the IQ to carry on a decent conversation. What does that say? By authority, Frederick County Democrat Central Committee. Yeah, so there you go. There you go. And if you're like me and you're thinking, hey, that's kind of crazy, where's the Republicans? The Republican Central Committee doesn't do shit in Frederick. They let these people run rampant. They don't say anything. They don't do anything. They allow it to happen. They sit back and watch, and then wonder why they can't win an election in Frederick County because of this. They get little baby balls, don't want to fight, don't want to make waves. They just sit back and let this go, and they make a statement. We don't agree with this, and yada, 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 yada. They're a joke. So, yeah, it's just the inmates are running the prison in Frederick County, and I'm sure this happened in your town, too. They're not just protesting in Frederick. They're protesting everywhere. And the funny thing is, in Maryland, they're protesting the gerrymandering in Texas. Maryland was the most gerrymandered state when Democrats were in party, and nobody said anything. They weren't marching in the street saying that's not constitutional, that's not right, they're rigging the elections, because it was going their way. That's why I don't put any weight to anything these people say. If things are going their way, it's all good. Same thing swings the other way, now it's bad. We shouldn't be doing it. These people are children, spoiled little children that really, really aren't grounded in reality in any way, shape, or form. It's really that simple. So let them whine and cry on the street corners, spend the day outside with their little signs, looking like, they've just solved the world's problems, when all in reality, they've done nothing. They've made no impact because the majority of people look at these people like I am and find them funny. Liberty and justice for all. Everybody's got that. Resist. Resist what? Resist your stupidity? Resist your nonsensical arguments? I couldn't write a better screenplay. I've said it before. If I could write something this stupid and this unbelievable, I would be the world's greatest screenwriter in Hollywood. I'd be a billionaire if I could write stuff like this. But wait, I'm about to show you the Frederick County executive, runs all of Frederick County. This is her. These are her words. I'm going to let it play.
I have white privilege and I'm a racist. Anybody who is a white person in any sort of position of power, we have white privilege and we are racist because of the systems in this community. So
let me play that again.
I have white privilege and I'm a racist. Anybody who is a white person in any sort of position of power, we have white privilege and we are racist because of the systems in this community. So
she got elected. Frederick County executive. Frederick County, Maryland. Self-admitted racist. Says every white person is a racist because of this systemic racism in our country and in the system. She was elected. That sums up Frederick County right there. That's the mentality of people in Frederick County, the voters, the majority of voters. The Republican Party couldn't beat her. A self-admitted racist, accusing other white people of being racist. The impotent Republican Party in Frederick County could not beat her. How pathetic is that? So far, no one stepped up to run against her this election cycle. Again, how pathetic is that? She just sat there and told everybody, I'm a racist, and if you're white, you're a racist. And people voted for her. If you ever wanted to know what Frederick County's all about, there you go. Bunch of white guilt, rich white people with too much free time on their hands, assuming responsibility for actions they weren't a part of, and paying for them now. They elect that moron, Jessica Fitzwater. An utter moron. You've just heard her. That's not an intelligent person speaking. That's not an intelligent statement. What that's called is being a race hustler, and you're pandering for votes, again, to the lowest common denominator. Stupid people. Stupid white people. And I said it, white people. And probably some other racist minorities that voted for it too. Like, yeah, white people are racist. And that's the problem, as I see it. Politicians will flat out lie to get votes. They will promise you the sun and the moon and the stars just to get your vote. And when they get into office, this is both sides of the party. Again, more so on the Democrat side than the Republican side, but we've got liars too. They will lie, cheat, and steal to get into office. Doesn't matter what they say, doesn't matter how they say it, they're going to say it. And if you don't agree with them, that's too bad, because people will naturally gravitate to being told they're going to get things as opposed to you'll need to work for things. Nobody wants to be told you got to work for it. I want it for free. Give it to me for free. And that's what these liberals do. They promise things or say things that get people going, oh, they really care. So usually, like I said, excuse me, at the end of the show, I have an opinion and I read my opinion. And sometimes it has to do with the show. Sometimes it's completely arbitrary and out of left field. But this opinion has to do with what we just talked about. It's on my handy dandy iPad. So I'm going to read my opinion. And again, this doesn't reflect anything on the other podcasters on the network. It doesn't reflect the network's feelings or thoughts on anything. Just mine and how I feel. So keep that in mind. Don't give the other podcasters, the Hammer, Alexander, and the other gentleman, don't give him a hard time because it's something I say. It's not fair and it's not right. Liberal politicians, particularly in the modern era, have perfected a grotesque art: the relentless, principle-free pursuit of votes at any cost. These chameleons of conviction will say, do, or promise anything to secure power, cloaking their opportunism in progressive platitudes while delivering results that often betray their own rhetoric. Their success in winning votes is undeniable, but it comes at the expense of integrity, coherence, and the very cause they claim to champion. The boundless cynicism of these vote-hungry liberals is a masterclass in political prostitution, and the electorate's willingness to reward it exposes a deeper rot in the system. Take the playbook. Liberal politicians have honed a knack for pandering to the zeitgeist. No matter how absurd or fleeting the trend, they'll don the mantle of wokeness one day, tweeting about systematic inequities or decolonizing something as mundane as City Park, only to pivot to centrism when the polls shift. Look at figures like New York's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who rode a wave of progressive fever in 2018 with promises of Medicare for all and defunding the police, only to soften her stance by 2024 when suburban voters signaled discomfort. X posts from 2025 capture the hypocrisy. Users unearthed clips of AOC dodging questions on police reform while cozying up to law and order moderates, all while still branding herself a radical. This isn't principle, it's performance, tailored to whatever demographic is trending on election day. The data backs this up. A 2024 Pew Research study showed 65% of Democratic voters prioritize electability over ideological consistency, a statistic liberal politicians exploit with surgical precision. They'll champion causes like climate change or income inequality in stump speeches, but when push comes to shove, they'll cozy up to corporate donors or water down policies to avoid alienating swing voters. California's Gavin Newsom, for instance, has mastered this dance, touting green energy while quietly approving oil drilling permits to appease industry interests. A 2025 X thread exposed his administration's progressive budget included tax breaks for tech giants, contradicting his anti-corporate rhetoric. Votes secured, principles discarded. What's infuriating is how effective this is. These politicians don't just chase votes, they get them. They lean on identity politics, weaponizing race, gender, or marginalized groups to guilt voters into compliance. Kamala Harris's 2020 campaign leaned heavily on her rhetoric or her historic status as a potential first female, first black, first Asian American VP, sidestepping scrutiny of her prosecutorial record, which included harsh progressive policies once decried. Yet, she pulled it off with 81 million votes, we all know that's BS, for the Biden-Harris ticket. Ex-users in 2025 still mock her "I'm speaking" debate moment as a calculated play for feminist applause, not a substantive defense of policy. It's a tactic as old as politics: appeal to emotion, not reason, and watch the ballots pile up. The cost for this vote grubbing is catastrophic. Liberal politicians' willingness to say anything, whether it's promising free college, universal health care, or reparations, creates a cycle of overpromise and underdeliver. A 2023 Gallup poll showed trust in government at a historic low of 20%, with liberals citing broken promises as the top reason. These politicians erode faith in their own movement by treating progressive ideals as props, not convictions. When they inevitably compromise, say, by passing a diluted infrastructure bill that funnels billions to corporate cronies, they blame obstructionists while quietly pocketing campaign funds. 2025 highlighted this, with users calling out senators like Chuck Schumer for touting bold climate action while supporting fossil fuel subsidies in the fine print. This isn't leadership, it's a con. Liberal politicians will do anything for votes, are less ideologues than opportunists, surfing cultural waves while leaving a trail of broken trust. They're not stupid in the sense of being unintelligent. They're stupid in their short-sightedness, trade long-term credibility for short-term wins. The X-Sphere calls him out daily. Memes of woke tears, threads exposing flip-flops, and viral clips of their sanctimonious drivel. But they keep winning because outrage sells, and idiot voters buy it. The tragedy is that the causes they exploit, equality, justice, the planet, probably deserve better than a spineless hustler. Until voters demand more, the liberal vote machine will keep churning. Principles be damned. So once again, that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You can tell me to pound rocks or go away. Well, it's that time. I guess I'll let y'all go. It is 8:30. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I greatly appreciate it. It's, as I've always said, it's humbling. You have other things to do with your night, and you're watching me. Again, I'll be back Wednesday. Excuse me, at 8 for the Pulse with Alexander and Damon the Hammer. And then I'll be back next Sunday, same bat time, same bat channel for the Conservative Corner. Thanks, Damon Sherrod, the producer, for helping me out with this. Again, I am not technologically advanced, so sometimes I need the help. So I appreciate it. Again, thanks for coming out. This is the Conservative Corner. I will get that right. Seth Eisenberg, the host. And remember, if you follow a principle over a party, you're going to live a pretty good life, and it'll be something you can be proud of. I will see you all Wednesday. Have a good evening.